Good morning and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Kuala Lumpur addresses ASEAN Business Investment Summit, meets Chinese Premier Li Keqiang. Terrorism, trade, sea dispute, top agenda. At least 21 people killed as Mali hotel hostage crisis ends. 20 Indians who were among 170 hostages evacuated safely. Group affiliated to Al-Qaeda claims responsibility. UN Security Council unanimously adopts French proposed resolution asking nations across the world to unite against Islamic State. No approval, however, of military action. Madheshi protesters in Nepal torch ambulance and truck carrying medicines worth over 2 million rupees. This even after their assurance that they will allow movement of medicines and let schools function. And more rain predicted in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Death toll in Tamil Nadu from rain-related incident touches 120. 35 die in neighbouring Andhra. Our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Kuala Lumpur for the ASEAN Summit. He addressed the ASEAN Business Investment Summit a short while ago. Let's take a listen.
No Indian is houseless. It will also generate a large amount of employment, that too mainly for the unskilled, the semi-skilled and the poor. We have undertaken major improvements in the transport sector. Over major ports witnessed a 4.65% growth in traffic and 11.2% increase in operating income in 2014-15, despite a global contraction in trade volume. The pace of award of new highway work has increased from 9 kilometers a day in 2013-14 to 23 kilometers a day currently. This will have a large multiplier effect throughout the economy. We were committed to restore credibility in the process of allocation of natural resources. My government has intervened with legislative and administrative measures to improve the supply of critical inputs and raw materials. They include coal, other minerals, and spectrum. The hallmark of this intervention is allocation through transparent auction. We started the Jan Dhan Yojana. In less than a year, we opened 190 million new bank accounts. On social security front, we have launched innovative and attractive scheme for insurance and pension. We have also set up Mudra Bank to fund the small traders who were unfunded so far. More than 6 million small traders have already availed the loans. While expanding the banking services, we are also taking steps to strengthen the banking system. Credible and capable bankers have been appointed to head banks. For the first time since banks were nationalized 46 years ago, private sector professionals have been appointed in key positions. We have taken concentrated action to revive stalled infrastructure projects. We have started a major revamp of the power sector. These measures will also benefit our banks. Let me now turn to issues of investment, which may be of more direct relevance to you. In a break with over 65 years of tradition, we have involved India's states in foreign policy. The Ministry of External Affairs has been asked to work with the states. When I visited China, a state-to-state summit was also held. And states have been asked to create export promotion councils. Making the states think globally is yet another reform with potential to transform. Our aim is to create jobs for more than 1 billion young hands. To provide this, the share of manufacturing must reach around 25% in our GDP.
All right, Prime Minister Narendra Modi there. Meanwhile, terror also echoed at the ASEAN summit as US President Barack Obama spoke about the Bali hotel siege in which 21 people were killed. Obama said that their attacks only stiffen the world's community's resolve to fight the menace.
Like the heinous attacks we saw in Paris, and attacks we see all too often elsewhere, this is another awful reminder that the scourge of terrorism threatens so many of our nations. And once again, this barbarity only stiffens our resolve to meet this challenge. The United States will be relentless against those who target our citizens. We will continue to root out terrorist networks. We will not allow these killers to have a safe haven.
Well, the Mali hotel hostage standoff has ended. At least 21 people were killed in the counterattacks after government troops stormed into the building to free the hostages. An Islamist group affiliated to Al-Qaeda has claimed responsibility for the attacks. 20 Indians were also among the 170 hostages. All of them have been evacuated safely. Meanwhile, a state of emergency has been declared in Mali.
Malian commandos and UN security forces stormed into Hotel Radisson Blu in Mali's capital Bamako, launching counterattacks to take over the hostage situation. The hotel has been cleared and premises secured. On Friday, a group of armed gunmen shouting "God is great" took nearly 170 people as hostage in the hotel. Al-Morabitan, an African jihadist group, has claimed responsibility for the attacks. They are a terror group affiliated to Al-Qaeda.
Comme j'ai eu à dire, les spécialistes sont en train de s'occuper vraiment de ces blessés-là. Un a été opéré, les autres sont en cours de traitement. Pour le moment, Dieu est avec nous vraiment. Quand nous voyons tout ce que nous avons eu à subir depuis 2012, on va dire un grand merci au Tout-Puissant. Il continue à protéger, il le fait. On prie pour que...
All 20 Indians who were among the hostages have been evacuated safely. Several foreign nationals were also among the hostages. The US-owned hotel is popular with foreign businesses and airline crews. Malian President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta has announced a state of emergency for 10 days and 3 days of national mourning.
Depuis ce matin, déjà à 6 heures, l'hôtel Radisson fait l'objet d'une attaque par un certain nombre d'individus qui ne sont pas encore identifiés, mais tout porte à croire qu'il s'agit d'attentats terroristes.
Condemnation poured in from across the world. US President Barack Obama said that they are monitoring the situation.
The General condemns the horrific terrorist attacks at the Radisson Hotel in Bamako, which killed an unknown number of civilians and injured many more. He expresses his sincere condolences to the government of Mali and the bereaved family and wishes a speedy recovery to the wounded victims of this attack.
We're monitoring the situation.
We are taking all the necessary steps in order to solve that crisis. A crisis unit has been installed in the embassy in Mali and in the Quai d'Orsay in France.
Security officials have not been able to establish any direct link with Paris attacks, as it comes just a week after that. However, reports suggest that an IS militant in Syria said French military intervention in Mali is one reason to attack France and French interests. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, a French proposed resolution calling upon member states to take all necessary measures on a territory under control of the Islamic State in Syria and Iraq has been adopted unanimously by the UN Security Council. All the 15 members of the UNSC voted in favor. The resolution, however, does not authorize military action against Islamic State.
Will those in favour of the draft resolution contained in document S/2015/890 please raise their hand?
A unanimous vote for a French-sponsored resolution at the UN Security Council. The resolution calls on all nations to redouble and coordinate action to prevent further attacks by the Islamic State terrorists and other extremist groups.
The result of the voting is as follows. The draft resolution received 15 votes in favour. The draft resolution has been adopted unanimously as Resolution 2249 of 2015.
The resolution says the Islamic State group constitutes a global and unprecedented threat to international peace and security. It also expresses the Council's determination to combat by all means this unprecedented threat.
La résolution que nous venons d'adopter reconnaît le caractère exceptionnel de la menace de Daesh. Il appelle tous les États membres à prendre toutes les mesures nécessaires pour éradiquer le sanctuaire que Daesh a créé en Syrie et en Irak.
While the resolution calls on UN member states that have the capacity to do so to take all necessary measures against the Islamic State group and all other violent extremist groups to eradicate the safe havens they have established over significant parts of Iraq and Syria, it does not constitute an authorization for military action. Because the resolution is not drafted under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, that is the only way the UN can give a green light to the use of force.
Today we sent a clear, unambiguous message that there will be no respite from our collective efforts to stop, suppress and destroy ISIL. Whether in the streets of Paris or Beirut or in the skies above the Sinai, ISIL's brutality knows no bounds and respects no borders. ISIL's determination to carry out attacks around the world must be met by our greater resolve to defeat them wherever we find them.
We are facing indeed an unprecedented threat. So with this resolution, we have, as I said, the legal and political framework to mobilize and unify the entire international community in the existential threat and fight against Daesh.
The resolution, which is the 14th terrorism-related resolution adopted by the UN's most powerful body since 1999, was adopted a week after the Paris attacks in which 130 people were killed. The IS has claimed it has carried out the attacks. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Right now, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
Angkor Wat in the ancient land of Cambodia, one of the largest temples in the world. Ruined by invasion and war.
It is then that this temple complex of Angkor Wat became desolate, it got abandoned, it was taken over by the French colonizers, and finally it was taken over by the Buddhist monks.
India's restoration diplomacy has reaffirmed the civilizational links.
We share the common heritage of Buddhism and other historical sites.
Watch Angkor Wat, a shared heritage, on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now, more rain has been predicted in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh as both the states continue to reel under flood-like situation due to heavy rainfall. Now, the toll from rain-related incidents in Tamil Nadu increased to 120, while 35 people have died in Andhra Pradesh. There will be little relief from rain in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh as Met Department has predicted more rains in the states. The incessant rains have killed 120 people in Tamil Nadu and forced more than 70,000 people to move to relief camps. In some areas, knee-deep water entered the houses as hapless residents struggled without any help.
அதனால தண்ணியே நிறைஞ்சு இருக்குது. இந்த தண்ணி நிறைஞ்சதனால எங்க சொந்த பணத்தை போட்டு கூட நாங்க மோட்டார் வச்சு அந்த தண்ணியை எடுக்கிறோம். அந்த தண்ணியை எடுத்து அந்த பக்கம் விட்டு அந்த ஏரியா ஆளுங்க வந்து ஏன் இந்த பக்கத்துல தண்ணி எடுத்து வந்து விடுறீங்க அப்படின்னு அவங்களே எங்க கிட்ட வாக்குவாதம் பண்றாங்க.
Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha said 9 persons had been killed in the last 4 days, with the victims mainly hailing from Chennai and Kanchipuram districts. She announced a relief of 4 lakh rupees each to the families of the victims. Despite some relief from the rain on Friday, the Met Department has forecast moderate rains on Saturday.
Forecast for next 24 hours is concerned, it is likely to rain at many places in the coastal districts and at few places in the interior districts. 1 or 2 places in the interior districts may experience heavy rainfall. As far as Chennai city is concerned, it will be partly cloudy and rain will occur in some areas.
Rain has also caused havoc in Andhra Pradesh, with 35 people dying due to rain-related incidents. Nellore and Chittoor districts of the state have been severely affected due to floods. Keeping in view the devastation caused by the floods, Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu has sought 1,000 crore rupees immediate relief from the centre to overcome the crisis. National Disaster Response Force, Navy and Air Force have been carrying out rescue operations since Tuesday and distributing food and water packages to marooned people. Around 12,000 people have been evacuated by the Army and the Air Force in Chennai. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And news from Bihar now. Well, the Grand Alliance government was sworn in on Friday at a mega ceremony in Patna. Nitish Kumar took oath as the Chief Minister of Bihar for the 5th time, along with the 28 ministers from the JDU, RJD and the Congress.
Nitish Kumar being sworn in as the Chief Minister of Bihar for a 3rd term. No stranger to taking the oath. This is Nitish's 5th time doing the drill. Along with him, 28 ministers, including 12 each from the JDU and the RJD and 4 from the Congress, also took oath of office. RJD Chief Lalu Prasad's 2 sons, Tejaswi and Tej Pratap, were also sworn in as ministers. First time MLA Tejaswi Yadav is the new Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar. The Chief Minister has retained Home, Information and Publicity and General Administration departments, while his deputy has the Road Construction and Buildings Construction portfolio. Tej Pratap has been given Health. The Finance portfolio has been given to Senior RJD leader Abdul Bari Siddiqui. The grand ceremony at Patna's historic Gandhi Maidan saw a galaxy of leaders in attendance. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi was also there, so were former Prime Minister H.D. Devagowda, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and several other Congress Chief Ministers.
ये जो हमारी सरकार बनी है, बिहार के हर नागरिक की बनी है, हर धर्म की, हर जात की सरकार बनी है, सब बिहारी लोगों की सरकार बनी है और ये सरकार सबको लेकर, एक साथ लेकर, मिलकर आगे बढ़ेगी.
Union Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu represented the Modi government, while the left parties were represented by Sitaram Yechuri and D. Raja.
नया सरकार को आज का शपथ ग्रहण के अवसर पर केंद्र सरकार के ओर से शुभकामना देने के लिए मैं आया हूं और केंद्र सरकार प्रदेश सरकार के साथ मिलकर देश को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं. हमारा प्रधानमंत्री का इच्छा है शुरू से ही कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म में कॉम्पिटिटिव कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म होना चाहिए. सभी स्टेट्स ठीक तरफ से विकास का रास्ते पे आगे बढ़े तो देश आगे बढ़ेगा. इसलिए एक टीम इंडिया के रूप में काम करना चाहिए. जो भी मदद संभव है केंद्र से, वो सभी मदद बिहार का जनता के लिए, बिहार का विकास के लिए, बिहार का उत्थान के लिए केंद्र सरकार बिहार को देंगे.
जो उन्होंने वादे किए उसको लागू करने का शपथ है ये, और हम उनको सब हमारी बधाई और खुशियां मनाने के लिए साथ में आए हैं.
नीतीश जी को भी बधाई, मंत्रिमंडल में जो सदस्य होंगे सबको बधाई और यहाँ की जनता बहुत बड़ी बधाई.
The RJD won 80 seats in the Bihar elections, followed by JDU at 71 and Congress at 27, bringing the Grand Alliance's total to 178 in the 243-member assembly. As per the constitutional provision, Nitish Kumar can have a maximum of 36 members, including himself in the ministry. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi's dare to Prime Minister Narendra Modi to investigate and jail him has evoked sharp reactions from the BJP. Party leaders have demanded Rahul to come clean on the matter, substantiated with documents, else face Parliament in a few days.
A war of words has ensued between the Congress and the BJP over the citizenship row involving Rahul Gandhi. A day after the Congress Vice President dared the Prime Minister to initiate a probe against him, the BJP struck back with all its might. BJP leaders have now challenged Rahul Gandhi to produce documents in his defense instead of making rhetorical statements.
This is not a BJP versus Congress debate. This is a document versus document debate. India is a democratic country. Every citizen of this country has right to produce document and ask questions from its senior leaders. A question has been asked to Rahul Gandhi. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi has the pertinent documents which has legal repercussions, he should submit those documents rather than going into rhetorics, rather than showing his anger. He should be calm, patient, and he should submit the truthful document if he has any. If he doesn't have the documents, then he should simply answer the question.
BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy has also warned Rahul Gandhi to either cooperate or face prosecution charges.
He has himself admitted of being a British citizen. So he must now bring out all the files of that company and put it here, because he did not disclose it in his income tax returns here. He did not disclose it in his affidavit that he filed as a candidate in 2004 and 2009. He did not tell the Reserve Bank that he has earned so much foreign exchange. None of this he has said. So it is for him to disclose. Yes, we will definitely, if he doesn't cooperate, we will definitely, I'm sure that the government of India will prosecute.
Swamy has also written to the Prime Minister, urging him to verify the nationality of the Congress Vice President. He also sought a CBI probe against Rahul on grounds that there's a huge possibility of him receiving kickbacks in a defense contract. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now a look at what all events are expected to make news through the day in the day ahead. Voting for 2 Lok Sabha seats and 5 Assembly seats is underway. Lok Sabha seats which are going to by-polls are Ratlam in Madhya Pradesh and Warangal in Telangana. By-poll in Ratlam follows the death of BJP MP Dilip Singh Bhuria, while in Warangal it was necessitated by the resignation of the Telangana Deputy Chief Minister K. Srihari. Counting of the votes will be held on 24th of November. Maldivian Foreign Minister Dunya Mamoon will arrive today to hold talks with her counterpart Sushma Swaraj. She is expected to apprise Sushma Swaraj on recent emergency measures imposed in the country earlier this month, citing threats to citizen safety and national security. President Pranab Mukherjee will inaugurate the first ever 3-day World Indology Conference at Rashtrapati Bhavan today. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and President of ICCR will participate in the event. A distinguished Indologist award will be presented by the President to Professor Heinrich from Germany on the occasion. News from across the border now. Well, Madheshi protesters in Nepal torched an ambulance and a truck carrying medicines worth over 2 million rupees imported from India near the border as the sporadic violence returned amid a logjam over the new constitution. The truck loaded with medicines was torched by the Joint Democratic Madheshi Front. Now, this comes after their statement that they would allow movement of medicine-laden vehicles and would let the schools function normally. Nepal, remember, has been hit by a major political crisis over the new constitution opposed by Indian origin Madheshis who have led an agitation and blockades at key border points of Nepal with India, leading to a shortage of essential goods including fuel and gas. The agitation by Madheshi groups has paralyzed normal life across Nepal, while the dearth of medicines for the past 2 months has also put lives of patients at stake. Some more international news now in World Wrap. French security officials have said that Hasna Et Balaushin, the cousin of the presumed ringleader of last week's Paris attacks, did not blow herself up in a police raid as previously thought. The comment came as a third body was recovered from St. Denis. They say that the suicide bomber was a man. However, Hasna was also killed in the police raids. Meanwhile, Russia has intensified airstrikes against Islamic State in Syria. Reports suggest that they have raised the number of aircrafts to 69. The long-range missiles were launched from Caspian Sea warships. However, President Putin said the current level of attacks was not enough to defeat the Islamic State. In a rare admission of its kind, the US took responsibility for the civilian killings in Iraq during an airstrike against Islamic State early in March. One child was also among the 4 killed. Air Force officials at the US Central Command have been investigating the airstrikes. They found that the checkpoint was a legitimate target and all reasonable measures were taken to avoid unintended deaths. But the presence of civilians could not be detected until the warplane had launched its weapons. Former US Navy analyst Jonathan Pollard has been released from jail. He was imprisoned in 1987 for passing classified information to Israel. Under the parole, Pollard is required to remain in the US for the next 5 years. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu welcomed his release. Israel's appeals for Pollard's clemency were earlier rejected several times. And now a look at the news from the world of sports in Sports Beat. Ace Qist Pankaj Advani entered the semi-finals of the IBSF World Snooker Championship to assure India of a medal. Advani, who is gunning for his 15th world title, outplayed the Maltese Alex Ford 6-0. He will now meet the winner between Ireland's Greg Casey and Lucas Kleckers of Germany. Jos Buttler hit England's fastest one-day 100 to guide them to an 84-run win over Pakistan in the 4th and the final ODI in Dubai. Buttler's 100 of just 46 deliveries along with opener Jason Roy's maiden century helped England reach an imposing target of 355 for 5. The English bowlers then bowled out Pakistan for 271 to take the series 3-1. Stan Wawrinka beat Andy Murray in straight sets to reach the semi-final of the ATP World Tour Finals. Wawrinka eliminated Murray with a 7-6, 6-4 win and will now face compatriot Roger Federer in the last 4. Earlier, Nadal beat fellow Spaniard David Ferrer 6-7, 6-3, 6-4 in a marathon match to maintain his 100% record in the tournament. He will now face world number 1 Novak Djokovic in the semis. Real Madrid will host Barcelona at the Santiago Bernabeu today. Security measures have been significantly increased following the Paris attacks last Friday. Barcelona's star forward Lionel Messi is likely to make a comeback after 8 weeks of injury. Well, that's all in this edition of News at 10. Thanks for watching.